Hello, vinyl community and anyone else listening. Uh, Last week, 2 weeks ago, I took a road trip on a Sunday to a flea market about 2 hours away, where there's like three permanent booths in this flea market that sell records. And since there's only one local record store, and that's 35 miles away or something. Once in a while I go there on a weekend when it's nice out and I don't have anything to do, and which is rare because I usually work on weekends. But anyway, I took the trip up and bought a few things. Nothing amazing or earth-shattering, but since I made the trip, I thought I'd show some of the stuff. And I always buy a few things because I want it to be worth my while for the gas money to get there and whatever. So, start off with the coasters. What is the secret of your success? This is a British import on Mr. R&B Records, and it covers the coasters from their earliest days to about the mid-60s. And I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm hoping this should be a really, really good album, and I love the coasters. So I picked up a collection of rare tracks by Jackie Wilson on Rhino, and I just love Rhino. Rhino is almost my favorite record label. They do really good jobs on everything they do, and I haven't given this one a spin yet, but it should at least be interesting. Mose Allison, Lessons in Learning. This is a live album, and if you don't know who Mose Allison is, you really need to check him out if you're into like cool sort of piano jazz. And I mean, this guy to me in the early days was the definition of cool. Generally working a three-piece band with just a bass, piano, and drums. And just, I mean, this is the guy that, well, he made popular Seventh Son before Johnny Rivers did it. Everybody Crying Mercy is his. Lost Mind is on here. This is a later live album from the early 80s. Your Mind is on Vacation. I Don't Worry About a Thing. The Yardbirds did a song by him. I can't remember what it's called. That is really awesome. And if you know the Kinks song, now I'm not going to think of the name of that one. Nothing gonna make me worry about my baby. Nothing in this world can make me stop worrying about my girl. That song sounds a lot like Mose Allison. So if you like that song by the Kinks, check out this guy right here. I bought this for one reason. Well, it's Louis Armstrong Jazz. I love jazz. It's on Decca. It was only $2. It's not in amazing shape, but it's in decent shape. And the reason that I really bought it is a Decca white label promo. And this is the only Decca white label promo in my collection. I'm not sure I've ever even seen one before. But there you go. So I had to pick that up. This, for label reasons, the same thing. I am a huge Charlie Rich fan, by the way. This is Charlie Rich. Sings country and western, sings the songs of Hank Williams basically. But notice the record label. It's on High Records, which is an R&B soul label. And there you go. It is on High Records. And it's just odd that Charlie Rich was on High Records. I just find that very odd. I picked up a nice little Everly Brothers compilation, original greatest hits. It's on Barnaby Records. It's a double and it was like $3.50, I think. Love the Everly Brothers. I'll save the last dance for you. Some early Demita Jo. She has an album called This Is Demita Jo on Epic. If you're into like swing and lounge music, I can't recommend that album high enough. This album, she's kind of doing an early rock and roll thing, including I'll Save the Last Dance for You. which is an answer tune to the Drifters song, Save the Last Dance for Me. That was one dealer. Now we go to another dealer, Ian Gom, Gom with the Wind. He had 2 copies of this album. Actually, this is the same dealer, I'm sorry. One was the original on Stiff, I can't remember, Stiff A&M maybe. And this is the original Albion import. And they got pretty much the same songs on them. So I went for the import. It's going to probably sound better. I picked this up just because you don't see these things that much anymore. John Fogerty, The Old Man Down the Road. It's a 12-inch white label promo. It's got the same song on both sides. But for $2, you know, why not? Ascarita. This guy is unique. Now, I haven't played this yet either. Vintage Vula. Little Richard learned pretty much everything he knows about music from Ascarita. This guy had the hair, sang high like Little Richard, had the mustache, played piano. I mean, this is like the Lost Little Richard album. He's an incredible guy, and more people should know about him. This is an import. Actually, it's not. It's on Norton Records. This was in nice shape. I had to buy this. You Don't Have to Say You Love Me by Dusty Springfield on Philips. It's a really nice stereo copy. Spotlight on Sandy Shaw, another import. This is a 2-record set, greatest hits. I love Sandy Shaw. She did the original version of There's Always Something There to Remind Me. And her big hit was Girl Don't Come. And it's on here in, I believe, also she did it in French. I thought it was on here, but maybe it's not. Anyway, really nice 2-record set of Sandy Shaw. I'm into the other guy's stuff now. And this is Sandy Shaw later. Some track called Frederick. It's a 12-inch. And she does Girl Don't Come, her big hit. She redoes it on here. I haven't gotten to this either, but I bought it just to hear what she sounded like, you know, in the 80s. Still kind of looks good. Peggy Lee, Pass Me By. I love Peggy Lee. And $2, as you can see on the price tag. And it's on Capitol. It's in pretty good shape. And it's got her version of Bewitched on it, which is a great song. I'll be playing that on my podcast for sure. I'll be playing a lot of this on my podcast. But this is a guy a long time ago, maybe my first update ever. My first recent finds ever. I showed more Kinks. How Are You? This guy in his warehouse clearly has much Kinks of the late, very late 80s vintage. A lot of it import, and this is on London Records. 2 tracks from the Think Visual album, How Are You, Killing Time, and Sleazy Town, which would be 3 tracks from the Think Visual LP. Jonah Jones, I Dig Chicks, one of the best covers anybody ever thought of doing. You just have to, I mean, this will be on my wall eventually. Clearly, this is a cover that goes on your wall. And it's in really nice shape, the record and the cover. Music from the films. Why did I buy this? 2 reasons. It was $1, and it's on my favorite weird label that I like to collect, Spinorama. So I'll give that a Spinorama one of these days, and I'll see how it is. Band called Tattoo. I'd never heard of this band. I've played a little of it. Didn't do much for me, but the reason I bought it is this guy right there. That guy is Wally Bryson from the Raspberries, and this is what he did after the Raspberries. And in fact, before the Raspberries, he was in the choir, and they did a song called It's Cold Outside, which is a fantastic song. They cover it on here. but I really don't care for it a whole lot. But anyway, 10cc, 100cc. This is an early compilation album from the first 2 or 3 10cc albums on UK Records. This originally I had on 8-track a long time ago, and it's probably my favorite 10cc. I know you're supposed to love the sheet music album, but this has the best stuff on that, plus all their other really good early stuff. So if you're into 10cc and you don't have this, and you don't have everything, this is a really good place to start. The Tourists should have been greatest hits, and the funny thing is, only one of their hits is on here. They had 2. I Only Want to Be With You is on here, and I can't remember the other one, but it's not on here, which is very weird. They only had 2 hits. Anyway, of course, the Tourists turned into the Eurythmics eventually. That's it for the flea market stuff. Now I got a few things in the mail. A couple online places were having some really good sales. And a lot of people are going to think I'm nuts for picking this up, but I picked it up for 2 reasons. It's Ring Ring, the very first ABBA album. It's a new reissue. It's made in Germany on Polar Records. Everything is in Swedish on the cover, if you can, I don't know if you can read that or not. And in fact, there are 2 versions of Ring Ring on here. One is the original Swedish version, which is one of the reasons I bought it. And the other reason is this album, as far as I know, was never actually released in America before. So I just wanted it for the novelty, really. And to play Ring Ring on my podcast in Swedish. I'm a huge Monkees fan, and when I found this cheap, I had to get it. I have an original. You're not going to get any but glare here. This is the Monkees Head album. I had an original, and I actually have the first original Rhino reissue from the 80s. But this will be on 180 gram vinyl. It's a fantastic soundtrack, a fantastic movie. If you don't know the Monkees Head, you need to see this movie. And I'll show the back because you can actually see it. And it's on Rhino Records, Rhino Vinyl, and this thing should be awesome. And they did a really nice job on it. And the last one I got at that place really cheap was Cocteau Twins, Blue Bell Noel. And Carolyn's Fingers is on this album. And that's really the reason I bought it. And if the rest of it, I'm not familiar with the album, but if the rest of it sounds like Carolyn's Fingers, I'm going to love this record. A couple more here. I know nothing about this. It was really cheap. It's a brand new record on Kirkland Records. John Singer Sargent. They're playing the music and songs of John DeFilippo. I'm assuming that he was an avant-garde jazz kind of guy. That's just a guess. I might be way off. I haven't opened this or played this yet. But there are some good people on here, including Ben Queller and Rhett Miller. So this will be an interesting listen anyway. A couple more here. The Subsonics, In the Black Spot. Now, I hope I got this right. I'm pretty sure Mr. Flipside CT showed this record. I hope that's who it was. And really recommended it and played it a little bit. And I really liked it. So I found a copy for definitely reasonable price. And I picked it up. And I'm hoping that I'm really going to like this. It's sort of female garagey with a lot of keyboard organ kind of stuff. And Vox. And I'm hoping I'm really going to like that. And last but not least, Volume 1 of Christmas Cocktails. Now, in the 90s, Capitol put out this whole cocktail series on CD. And I have most of them and love them all. They did a really awesome job mastering it and the whole thing. And as far as I can tell, Christmas Cocktails 1 and 2 are the only ones out on vinyl thus far. It's a 2-record set. And I've got Volume 2 coming. This is Volume 1. But Volume 2 is on the way. And there's some really good Christmas stuff on here. And my next Christmas podcast, there will definitely, not my next, the one after, the next is already done. There will definitely be some stuff from here on that. Well, that about does it for my recent finds number 6, I think. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and please check out my podcast, snapcracklepop.podomatic.com. I have, even since the last video, I have a couple more new subscribers. Thank you all for subscribing and watching and leaving your comments. I know I'm really bad at answering them. Once in a while I get around to it. Right now, my internet is actually completely down, so it'll be a couple days before this video even gets posted. But I'm not going to let that stop me. In fact, I'm about to make another one of my recent thrift store find. So watch that when you get a chance. And to everybody that watches me and comments, and I'm not going to even try to say everybody, but there's Retro 2, and there's Flipside CT, and of course Trish Mullins, and Dixieland Farms, Chris, Beetle Cat, and gosh, there's just so many. Robert Z, and anyway, there's Mr. Eli, and anyway, thank you all. B-sides, there's just too many. Thank you all for watching me and commenting, and take care. I'm going to do another video. Like, subscribe, and comment, and thanks for watching.